There is a form of Shiva that will fundamentally change how you think about gender, about identity, about the nature of reality itself. Half the body is male, half the body is female. The right side is Shiva, muscled, ash-covered, with matted hair and a tiger skin. The left side is Parvati, soft, adorned with jewelry, draped in silk, with a full breast and a gentle curve to the hip. One being, two genders, fused down the middle. No seam, no separation. Just wholeness. This is Ardhanarishvara, half man, half woman, and this concept is at least 5,000 years old. Let me tell you why it matters more today than it ever has. The origin story varies by text, but the most common version goes like this. Brahma, the creator, has been generating beings to populate the universe, but he is only creating males. He creates sages, gods, celestial beings, all male. And nothing is reproducing. Creation has stalled. Brahma is confused. He goes to Shiva and asks for help, and Shiva manifests as Ardhanarishvara, half himself, half Parvati, one unified being. And from the feminine half, from the Parvati side, the creative energy pours forth. Female beings emerge. The principle of Shakti, of divine feminine power, enters creation. And suddenly, the universe can reproduce, it can grow, it can multiply, it can sustain itself. The teaching is explicit. Creation requires both, not just the masculine, not just the feminine, both, simultaneously, within the same being, not as partners, not as separate but equal, as one. Now, different texts offer different reasons for the Ardhanarishvara form. In the Shiva Purana, it arises from Parvati's longing to be so close to Shiva that there is no distance between them at all. She wants to merge with him completely, to share his body, his breath, his heartbeat. And Shiva grants this wish by absorbing her into himself, not consuming her, merging with her. The result is not Shiva with Parvati inside. It is a new being, neither male nor female, both male and female, a third category that contains and transcends the other two. In Shakta traditions, the emphasis is reversed. It is not Shiva absorbing Parvati. It is Shakti expressing through Shiva. The feminine principle is the active force. Shiva without Shakti is Shava, a corpse. Literally. The texts say that without the feminine divine energy, the masculine divine consciousness is inert. It lies there, unmoving, unthinking, incapable of any action. Shakti is the energy. Shiva is the consciousness. Without energy, consciousness is dead. Without consciousness, energy is directionless. They need each other so fundamentally that separating them is not just unwise, it is impossible. They are one thing pretending to be two. Now, here is where this gets philosophically radical. In the Western traditions that have dominated global culture for the last few centuries, gender is binary, male and female, two categories, fixed, opposite, complementary but separate, one dominant, one subordinate, depending on the era and the agenda. Hindu philosophy looked at this question 5,000 years ago and said, no, that is not how reality works. Reality is not binary. It is non-dual, Advaita. The masculine and the feminine are not two things. They are one thing experienced from different angles, like the front and back of your hand. You can look at the palm and you can look at the knuckles, and they seem like different things. But try to separate them. You cannot. They are one hand. Ardhanarishvara is the cosmic hand showing you both sides simultaneously. And this has practical implications that go far beyond theology. In the Natya Shastra, the ancient Indian treatise on performing arts, every dancer is trained to embody both masculine and feminine qualities. The lasya, graceful and fluid movements representing the feminine. The tandava, powerful and vigorous movements representing the masculine. A complete dancer masters both, not one or the other, both. Because a human being who cannot access both energies within themselves is only half alive. In the yogic tradition, The left side of the body is associated with the Ida Nadi, the lunar channel, feminine, cool, receptive, intuitive. The right side is associated with the Pingala Nadi, the solar channel, masculine, hot, active, analytical. And the goal of yoga is not to strengthen one at the expense of the other. The goal is to balance them, to bring them into such perfect equilibrium that they merge into the Sushumna, the central channel, and Kundalini rises. Enlightenment, in this framework, is the Ardhanarishvara state achieved within your own nervous system, the fusion of opposites, the dissolution of the internal gender binary. Now, I want to be careful here. I am not saying that ancient Hinduism was some progressive paradise of gender equality. It was not. The social reality of ancient India was as patriarchal as anywhere else. Women were constrained, controlled, and often treated as property by the very same cultures that produced these philosophical insights. The gap between the theology and the sociology was enormous. But that gap makes the theology more remarkable, not less, because it means that the sages who conceived of Ardhanarishvara were not describing their society. They were describing reality, a reality that their own social structures contradicted. They were saying, the truth is beyond what we practice. The truth is beyond what we can currently embody. But the truth is still the truth. And the truth is that dividing consciousness into masculine and feminine is like dividing water into hydrogen and oxygen. You can do it conceptually, you can do it chemically, but the moment you do, it stops being water. It stops being the thing that gives life, the thing that flows and nourishes and sustains. Ardhanarishvara is the water before the division, the wholeness before the fracture. And every human being, regardless of their physical body, regardless of their social role, regardless of what the world tells them they should be, carries both halves within themselves. The question is not, which half are you? The question is, can you stop pretending you are only one?